These notes are no mere diary. These are the visions of Karsus himself, designs for the crown he hoped to forge, and the new form of magic he planned to create with it. It seems Raphael was telling you the truth. The crown you saw atop the Elder Brain is indeed of Karsus's making. Reunite the crown with the Dead Three's netherstones, and Karsus's design might yet be completed. You could wield the power of a god. Few mortals are truly capable of ascending to godhood. Karsus famously failed, but that doesn't mean you would share his fate. After all, Mystra herself was once no more than a mortal wizard. She has no more right than any other. It's time someone else had a go. Someone with more ambition. Someone like you.
Elminster?
Oh, hello, my boy. No, don't mind me. I'm just enjoying a lungful of Baldurian air. Yes, a distinctive aroma, though perhaps not one worthy of bottling. Tell me, what curiosities have you and your companions discovered within the walls of this esteemed emporium? So, you have learned the truth of the enemy we face. The very tool with which its eponymous creator unmade magic itself. Perhaps now you understand what is at stake here, my boy. Though what Mystra asked of you was extreme, it was not without merit, nor demanded lightly.
What are you saying? Or rather, what are you not saying?
Mystra knows you defied her, Gale. Well, of course she knows. She's Mystra. She bids you come to her holy shrine in the Stormshore Tabernacle. There, she will grant you an audience at last.
Mistra's willing to speak to me again? Was this your doing, Elminster?
She knows what I see in you, just as I know what she sees in you. I was not born an old man. I know all too well what it's like to have a goddess fill your heart with longing. Looking at you is like gazing into a mirror that shows centuries long past.
The past is the past, Elminster. And the future is, well, still to be decided. By me. Not by Mystra.
If there is another way, I trust you can find it. It is not in your nature, or mine, to stop looking, to accept the first answer to any dilemma. Do what you can. Put that mind to work. Trust in yourself. Trust in the weave. If you are willing, trust in Mystra. There is a conclusion yet to be written in this sorry tale, Gale of Waterdeep. And yours is the quill that will write it.
message off.
So all it took to get Mystra's attention was to learn how to reforge an artifact that once destroyed her. It's obvious when you stop to think about it. I think Elminster's last message was the one carrying the punishment. Having respectfully declined it, I think she's willing to negotiate. This is a conversation that's long overdue on both sides. I owe it to her to hear her out. Come what may afterwards. Mystra's many things, but she's no censor. Her job is not to judge those who use the weave, but to ensure it is protected. Whatever she has to say, I want to hear it. Only then will we know the truth of what lies ahead.
There she stands, just as Elminster promised. Mystra, goddess of the weave, mother of all magic.
The old man wasn't lying. She's opened the summoning channel. Can't you feel it?
Gale's right. The very air around the statue crackles with magic. It sets your teeth on edge.
A stream of pure, undiluted weave. I only have to reach out, and it will carry me to Mystra, wherever she may be.
Your goddess calls. Serve her or denounce her as you will, but you cannot ignore her.
Time was, I'd have given my right arm for a chance to speak with Mystra again. The left one, too. Maybe a knee. Am I? You're right. I am a strong, capable wizard. And this is no more than a casual reunion with an ex-lover. My omnipotent, omniscient ex-lover. I always wonder what being nervous would feel like. I hate it. You're kind to say so, but this is hardly my first time in Mystra's presence. It's more the matter of what I'm going to say to her. During my time locked away in Waterdeep, I prepared a quite comprehensive speech for her on the subject of our former relationship and the manner in which it ended. Alas, recent events have rendered the majority of it moot, so I'm going to have to improvise. Unless you have any words of wisdom to impart before I go. Mystra's forgiveness? If you want me to claim the crown of Karsus, she'll hardly be in a forgiving mood after that. I think it's best I keep a cool head going into this. Approach it like a particularly high-risk round of 3 dragon ante. I'll let Mystra show her flight, and then I can see how strong a chance we stand of winning the gambit. I'll only be gone for a matter of moments. The Outer Planes experience time quite differently to our own. Wait for me. Please.
Gale of Waterdeep. You look well.
As do you. But I assume we're not here solely to exchange compliments. So why am I here?
You discovered what lies at the heart of the Absolute, the crown of Karsus. And you disobeyed my instruction. Why?
Because you had no right to ask that of me. You cast me out. Remember?
You were my lover, my chosen. Yet still you know so little of me. The past cannot be undone with self-pity, nor can a future be forged. Only with the truth will you see the way ahead. The fragment of magic you tried to return to me was not of my creation. It was the Karsite Weave. It is a corrupted, half-born magic, wrought in the brief moment Karsus ascended to godhood. It hungers for power, just as he did, and it can never be sated. You unleashed something that would consume all magic in existence, and yet you thought only of preserving yourself.
So that's what you're scared of. With the crown of Karsus reforged, I could take control of the Karsite Weave.
You can no more control the Karsite Weave than a weather vane could control a storm. That it entered your body and consumed no more than your powers was a miracle. But we will not be granted another. The only reason the orb sleeps is because I have allowed it to feed on the true weave. A temporary measure, but one that will not be enough to save us. With each day that passes, the Elder Brain threatens to become a new kind of god. Its worshippers, a scourge of soulless illithids. If you will not use the orb to end this abomination, then you must find a way to separate crown and host. When you've done this, you must surrender the crown of Karsus to me.
A great ask indeed. You've given me much to think on, as you always did.
So be it. Follow the needle of your own wisdom. We shall see how truly it leads you.
What to do?
Back on mortal soil once more. I can't believe I saw it. After all this time. Relieved. Drained. Proud of myself for summoning the courage to go to her in the first place, and, if I'm being totally honest, a bit lightheaded. As if it wasn't enough to have seen her again. She didn't exactly summon me there for small talk. The Karsite Weave. Within me this whole time. I knew the orb was no ordinary ball of magic before it to be Karsus's malignant creation. Gods! How did I not see that? But I should have known. What right had I to go about declaring myself an archmage when I was as foolish as a common apprentice in setting such an entity loose? At least now I'm armed with the truth. And Mystra's expectations. Sounds like the door to redemption is open at last. All I have to do is walk through it, carrying the crown of Karsus. Were I a more superstitious man, I confess I'd be inclined to see a certain divine destiny in the greatest of Karsus's creations re-emerging at the same time as one another in the same city. Think about it. The crown of Karsus, the Netherstones, the Karsite Weave, no more than a tadpole's breadth from being reunited. What if this is my chance? I'd be a fool not to take it. I would be everything. No mere archmage, but the embodiment of a new form of magic. Raw potential dancing from my fingertips. I would have back everything I lost and 1,000 times more. I would get what I deserved. One might argue. Well then, what more is there to discuss? All we need to do is stay focused on the task at hand. Defeating that Elder Brain. After that, you can leave the rest to me.